We promised you guys a review about the LEICA Q2 Monochrome, which we tested in December. And now we tested it for a while actually, and here is the review and especially the answer to the question, should you buy a pure monochrome camera, especially the LEICA Q2? So this video will answer this question. So this is not a review for a strap, but before you guys ask for it, this is the Peak Design strap that you just clip in here. And I also have the Peak Design hand strip, so you can like put it in the hand and then clip it on and off, and you don't have to like niddle this thing through here. And this is the Peak Design backpack that we bought in New York, and this is also attached with a clip, so you can clip it in here and put it in the bag and have it safe so that nobody can take out the camera. And I love this strip especially because you can shorten it, but I usually carry it like this. So I have the camera on the back here. When I want to take a picture, I can do it one-handed and go like this. Of course, you can use it manually, which I do most of the time, but right now the best option is to use the auto mode to take a picture, so I can do it one-handed. That's why I love this strip. We did. We did? Yes. Oh, we did that in New York. Look it up. This is nostalgic. This is nostalgic. We need new camera bags. Yeah, you definitely need one. I need one too.
Ich weiß, wen ich möchte.
Which one?
Peak Design. Yeah.
Yeah, geil. Oh, epic geil. If you follow this channel, you might know that we do videos like this, but many others as well. Here are camera videos, gear videos, but it's all about collaboration, what we do here. But I also share my personal opinion on the creative stuff that we actually make our creative things with. Yeah, the LEICA Q2 Monochrome, it has exactly the form factor as the LEICA Q2 and the Q. But small difference, everything here is in black and white and monochrome, and there are many videos out there about that. It's a beautiful camera, it's very minimalistic. Definitely something I appreciate with a camera, and if you take it in your hand, you can like feel the weight of it, and then usually it's hard to like give it out of your hand after that. So why would you spend that much money? And this camera is beyond 5,000 bucks. So why would you spend that much money on a camera? And like, should you do that actually? So maybe I should say I'm not a professional photographer. I do that here for, of course, our YouTube videos, and we have a RED camera that we also record the videos with, so I have a sense of like what it means to have a high quality device to do that stuff with. But with this thing here, it's the question, why should you limit yourself to just black and white photography? Why would you do that? And that's why we wanted to make a video about it, because this is the question that is underneath that. How to make a decision like this. So let's not talk about too much feature here. I would say quickly walk through, because there are many videos out there that you should have a look. But let's quickly talk about the basic features. So you can do everything in manual mode, like with the Q2. You have your aperture here, you have the focus, it also has an autofocus, you have the shutter speed, and then you have the ISO. And I just said that you have an autofocus, but this is the only camera in black and white that I know of that has an auto mode. So you can switch it on and take pictures in black and white, pure monochrome auto mode, which is pretty cool because it's fast and it's very reliable, which you expect from a LEICA in that price category. But you are limited to a 28mm lens, which is quite wide. It's the typical now street photography lens, and the lens is fixed, attached to the camera body, to the sensor. So lens and sensor play well together. And now the question, why in monochrome and what's the difference? As I said, I'm not a professional, but I love to dive into these topics, and there's a very good video from B&H, the store in New York that sells cameras. It's not the most enthusiastic video, but we link it here, and it's about the technology behind it. So just quickly to mention it, black and white just sees the brightness and the saturation and the contrast, and no, just the brightness and the contrast of color, but not the hue. So there is no difference in yellow and yellow. It's difficult, but it's quite easy. Okay, let's do it like this. I do it for the guys here. So every pixel that you want to bring into color, you need for that pixel the three colors. You need blue, you need red, and you need green. I don't know why, but the eye actually sees a bit more green. So on every pixel you have 4 color pieces. A red one, a blue one, and 2 green ones. And with that, you can zoom into the pixel and you would see these 4 colors, and depending on whatever color you want to see, this little blue, red or green light is on or off. So if you don't have these 4 color layers on that pixel, you can just spend all the resources on the brightness of the color, which is the only thing you then need for black and white. Black and white sees bright, dark, so the shadows, the contrast and all that stuff. So this is what makes a pure monochrome sensor special. So much more detail. And of course, you then can say, do you really see that? I would say yes, but also the quality of the Q2 in color, and there are videos out there, is so good if you transform it into black and white that you can really challenge that. But here's the thing, when I watched that, I could definitely appreciate and see what's the idea behind it. And it goes a bit back to the idea of a color film and a black and white film. Because if you then want to work with the pictures in Lightroom, for example, the things you can change are limited to contrast, to brightness, to lifting it a little bit, the darkness and the shades and stuff like that. And not to changing colors and working with colors. So the manipulation is very limited. And the second thing is, you turn this camera on and you see everything in black and white already. You don't have a viewfinder like an optical, but a digital one, so the camera turns it into black and white. And this gives you right away the feeling that you turn, or I personally turn, into then black and white mode and black and white thinking, which changes for me the creative process doing stuff like that. And in Lightroom, it makes it much faster to go through this workflow of transforming images, because I usually don't do anything to the image afterwards. I keep it the way it is because it comes out in a very nice way. And here's the thing, how would you decide to buy a camera like that then? What's the pro and contra list? And it's very difficult to go into that list and list everything on and say I like that, I like this, I don't like this. But honestly, it's like with the Red camera that we reviewed. You take it in your hand and you take a picture and you have the feeling, shit, this is my camera. And this is what it's about. You can look up all the features, you can get all the information from YouTube, but at a certain point you need to make a decision because you have a certain feeling of how you want to work with it and what you want to invest. I could definitely say that it would have been much cheaper with a Red camera, for example, to invest in a different camera. But the way we film with it and how we appreciate the picture and how we appreciate the craftsmanship that's in that camera changes the creative process. And that's the same with a camera like this. So you cannot open up a pro and con feature list. That's not the way it works. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Thorsten Overgaard, who is a Danish photographer, has a similar video saying a similar thing. He says he takes the camera in the hand and then he feels this is his camera or not his camera. Very interesting, and that definitely talks much more to me, and I can understand what he's saying there than all the feature videos, which I highly appreciate because I really want to have the information beforehand, but the decision is then something much more intuitive. Last thing I want to share is not about the camera itself. So I have creative phases depending on the weather, depending on the month, depending, I don't know, on whatever. And the black and white phase in photography really sparked with this book here. Again, this is the book Decisive Moment by Henri Cartier-Bresson. The godfather of black and white street photography. And if you go through this book, which is a beautiful book, beautiful print, it smells nice, you can appreciate there are images in here that are not, let's say, sharp in focus, for example, or that are not perfect, but they are in a way perfect for everything you like would challenge them on. Like you put the grid on and you talk about golden cut and all these things. But for me personally, it's I see something and I have the feeling, wow, that's a piece of art. And I can highly appreciate what photographers back then did. For example, one image I really love are these two about the inauguration of, I think, George VI. And I mean, this talks a whole story. What he did actually is he was supposed to photograph, to like take pictures of the inauguration, but he was turning around and actually facing towards everyone sitting there and watching it, and having this guy here laying totally drunk after the whole day. I mean, this is a whole movie in just one picture. And I use that for inspiration and for then opening up other creative processes. And I don't have the feeling I need to be the best photographer on the planet, or I need to become a professional in that, but it really helps me to launch off and to kick off our creative process. And Henri Cartier-Bresson is the founder or co-founder of Magnum Photography. So this is the second inspiration I want to highly recommend. It's Magnum context sheets. It's the images they get when they decide which print they would take. So you see all the images that have been taken, and then also what they marked. And then they have a little story about why they've taken that specific image. And again, this is about the creative process. It's not about features, it's not about which camera is better. It's a question, what's behind the process? What tool helps you to bring that process to life? And a camera that like the Leica or the Red or anything that I take in my hand and where I have the feeling, this is talking to me, there's something happening. I appreciate that much, much more because there were people putting that thought into that, putting that craftsmanship into, and I can appreciate it for our process. Yeah, I can dive into this now. You could watch that for hours. I mean, you guys should have a look here later. There are so many good examples. Also color ones later. I'll show you one last one and a story behind it. Where is it? Come on, come on, come on. Here. September 11, I mean, everyone will remind it. So this is the contact sheet. Color one, not black and white. And the decision for the picture. I mean, this is a whole story again in the picture. So, as you can see, it doesn't matter if it's black, white, color, whatever. It's the question of, do you feel it in the end whenever you know what you're doing? And I try to dive into these topics a little bit to understand it and not get lost into the features, but then make a decision on what I want. This is how I work in a creative way. I hope this kind of different review is helpful. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and let me know if you take photographs for yourself, because we will definitely make more videos about it, because we love the topic and it sparks off new ideas here. And this is what we make a living of, so we need these new creative ideas. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you watch another video, of course, and subscribe.